Hey everyone, this is Jason from Private Tabs. If you're watching this video, this means you've probably purchased Private Tabs and you need to set it up. I'm going to go through this quick video and kind of walk you through the basic setup of Private Tabs. Unlike other software products like a web browsers and things like that, you technically can't just start using Private Tabs without doing some initial setup. The first thing you really have to do after you install it is you need to make sure all of your Ticketmaster accounts and everything are loaded into Private Tabs. If you don't do that, you're going to kind of defeat the purpose of actually installing Private Tabs. One of the biggest challenges are people don't really understand that, so they'll install it and they'll kind of be confused on what to do. The other thing that really you should do is you always should set up your Gmail forwarding or email forwarding, so that way the two-factor codes will automatically appear in the toolbar for you, and that will work as well. Also, if you have any additional third-party products like, for example, shows on sale, ticket flipping, Automatic, One Ticket, any of these products, other things like that that you have integration points on, you'll want to make sure those are set up as well. So I'm going to talk briefly about all that stuff, give you an overview on it, and by the time you get done watching this video, you should be able to fully understand how to install Private Tabs, launch it, and sort of just start buying right away and start making money using Private Tabs, all right? So when you first install Private Tabs, you'll get a link sent to you. It's going to be privatetabs.com/download, all right? From there, it's going to look like this, and you're going to essentially choose one of three installations. Now, Private Tabs will run fine on a Windows computer system or a Mac computer system or an older Mac computer system with an Intel chip. So it'll work with an Intel chip Mac, an M1 or an M2 chip, which are the new Macs, and then as well as a Windows PC, right? If you install it on a Windows PC, you will get prompted with a warning message that kind of looks like this. It'll come up. You'll have to click on where it says more info, say run anyway, and then that will go through the installation of it. You may have seen this with other software products as well. Once you do that and then you install the initial product, it should be fine after that, all right? Make sure, though, that this is true on both Windows and Mac, that you don't have any sort of antivirus running, any spyware, anti-spyware running, or any of that type of stuff that could block and interfere with your connections. Even things like Windows Defender can be known to cause problems, right? Because essentially Private Tabs is making remote connections, you know, with proxy servers and things like that. And those products, you know, pick those up as sort of a false positive, thinking that, you know, it's a problem when it's really not. So make sure you have those things not running or disabled or uninstalled on your computer system. The other thing I want to tell you before you begin is make sure that you subscribe to both our YouTube channel and our tips, right? So if you go to youtube.com/@Private Tabs, right, that'll take you to the YouTube channel. Every time we do updates, we post here, so make sure you do that. The other thing is make sure you go to tips.privatetabs.com. So if you go to tips.privatetabs.com, right, you'll be taken to this, which has our roadmap. But the biggest thing is this yellow button. Click on that. Make sure you put your email in here and subscribe. You'll get an email sent to you. Click the confirmation button, and that'll opt you into our email system, right? So once you do that, and after you get through the Windows installation, I'm going to now take you into the Mac installation, all right? And then we'll get into the meat of it, all right? So the Mac installation is a little bit different. With the Mac, you essentially have to download the product, you'll install it, you'll drag it over to the application section. Once you do, you're going to have an icon that looks like this, all right? Now, when you click this, this is also true for Windows, you'll have two apps. You'll have a Private Tabs and a launcher, all right? The launcher is what you always want to use. You want to get in the habit of using the launcher. I will tell you in the near future, we are probably going to remove the two icons and just make one icon called Private Tabs. That's what we'll do. But right now we have two, Private Tabs and Launcher. The difference is Private Tabs opens the classic version, the older, or the classic version, which is the earlier version of Private Tabs. And then the launcher will allow you to choose the newer Chromium-based version or the Firefox-based version, right? So always use the launcher. Now, if you're a Mac user, what you're going to do for the first time using it, right, you're going to click it, and you're probably going to get an icon that looks very similar to this when you try to run it. It's going to have something that's got a box that looks like this, all right? It's going to say, you know, this can't be opened, right? What you want to do is you want to click on Show in Finder. Click that button. You can also follow these directions. By the way, this page that I'm looking at right here is on tips.privatetabs.com. So if you go to tips, you search for, Mac, you'll find it. I think it's like the second or third article as of the point time of this video right here, and it'll essentially just show you how to install it. But really all you're going to do is you're going to click on Finder. You're going to open up the Finder location. That will open up the location of your apps. Then you're going to hold the Command key down and you're going to click the icon. And when you click the icon, it's going to ask you if you want to run anyway. You say yes, run anyway, right? And that will then come up. And then when that happens, you'll essentially that'll open up, and then you'll close it down after you do that. You'll reopen it again, and you won't get this warning message anymore. This is just a known issue on Mac computers when you're using unsigned, Apple software, basically non-Apple software, right? So that is how you do it. You can just follow those directions. The other thing you want to do, and that's part 2, is you want to go into your system preferences, go under the security and privacy preferences, go to the general tab, and essentially there's a little like tick lock there. Just slide that over and everything as well. And that will also enable private tabs from sort of giving you this prompt or this warning when it every time you do it. Once you do that, private tabs will open up without a problem, right? So now that you've done that, now we're going to go into the actual private tabs. From this point, it's going to be the same for both Windows and Mac, no matter which one you use, all right? So if you're a Windows person or a Mac person, you're going to click Launcher. All right, when you click Launcher, what's going to happen is it's going to look essentially like this when you first open it up. All right, so now at this point, this is going to apply to both Windows and Mac users, okay? This is essentially what you're going to have to do before you start using private tabs and the initial setup and configuration. The very first thing you'll see is that when you launch Launcher, there will be a yellow button right here, okay? This yellow button will say Live Update. Click that button and have it download and do all the updates until it goes away, right? Now, right now, the current version is .38, but I'm sure by the time this video comes out and you're doing it, the versions will be much further down the line, right? Because we push out new versions every week. So before you do anything, make sure that you click that yellow button until it goes away and you've got all the latest downloads and everything ready to go with that yellow launcher button, all right? Now, the other thing you'll want to know is that private tabs is essentially 2 browsers in one. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, private tabs comes with 2 engines. Think of this as a Chrome browser and a Firefox browser. That's an easy way to think of it. Now, the classic version is the version that's been around for years. That is the version that's built on top of like the Firefox type of engine. The Chrome engine is the one that's sort of built on the Chrome engine. The Chrome engine is probably more comparable to like an Insomniac or something like that, whereas the classic is comparable to other browsers out there and everything that are out there on the market. What I would say though is that all of the settings and configurations, account stuff, all that stuff as of May 3rd, most of that things, May 3rd, 2024, most of those things are in the classic version. So when you first install it, you're going to need to log into the classic version, do the setup, and then once everything's set up, log out and go back into the Chromium version. Now, the reason we have both of these versions is because some websites will work better and block certain browser engines, right? So some websites perform better with Chrome, some websites perform better with, the classic. If you watch any of my videos, I've always recommended using the classic version. But that was because at the time, we didn't have all the features and everything brought into it. As of today, we have almost all the features brought into the Chrome engine. In fact, we've even got more features that are in Chrome that are in Classic. So now I'm actually sort of changing my tune. I'm going to recommend that you use the Chrome engine for mostly everything. However, the reason why is because the Chrome engine will handle many, many tabs, right? 50 tabs without a problem, those types, So if you're running 30 to 50 tabs or more, you definitely have to run the Chrome engine. If you've got more than, say, 50 Ticketmaster accounts, you definitely need to run the Chrome engine. Most of you people do. Most of you guys and gals have hundreds of Ticketmaster accounts. Most of you will join waiting rooms and you'll open up 50 tabs. So the Chrome engine is a no-brainer for you. But if you're sort of running off of like drop checkers and things like that, and you're just buying one or two on the fly and you don't open more than 30 tab windows, you might prefer the Chrome engine because the Chrome engine has got very specialized buttons and things like that in the toolbar. There's an account creator tool in there. There's some other things that the Chrome engine does not have that's in the Classic. But I will say that our goal is to have everything brought over to the Chrome within the next 30 to 45 days. So I would not be surprised if the classic engine eventually maybe even goes away unless people really love it and use it, because the Chrome engine works so much better. But to begin with, we want to go in and actually open up the classic version, and we want to set up our configuration. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is, once we get it installed, you're going to see that it's going to have all of these different profiles in there. They'll have 4 profiles. I don't know. We set this up thinking that this would be helpful to let people sort of play around with it. It actually causes more confusion than it's worth. What I would do is we need to just delete these accounts. All right. So you go in, you click the account icon, you click the edit button, and then you click the delete button. You hit save. You do that 4 times until all 4 of those accounts are all gone. At this point, all the accounts are empty, right? And I'm going to get into what all that means in a second. But before we do that, I want to go into the actual setup and the configuration. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click the 3 dots up in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to go to My Account, right? From there, you're going to scroll down. You're going to check these settings. Make sure that you have this one checked where it says New Show Dialog, and make sure all of these are checked here, right? No need to check Decision Maker. Just make sure it looks just like this, right? That's what you want to do as a new user. Now, if you are a big group and you've got a bunch of ticket pullers working for you, you want to use the Decision Maker, you could turn that on, but I would say set up a separate meeting with me. Look at a separate video for that. Most people are not doing that. So really, we're just getting through your initial setup. All right. So make sure that stuff's done. The next thing you want to do is you want to set up your email forwarding, right? What this does is this makes it so that when 2-factor codes come in, they automatically fill out for you. They'll be entered into the pop-up dialog boxes, and it'll click through, right? It'll click through everything. So if you do an on-sale event, it'll just sort of, click the join queue, automatically log in, enter the 2-factor code, and just boom, be setting in the line instantly with like 50 tabs, right? That's the goal here, right? That's what we're trying to do. And in order to do that, we have to know what those 2-factor codes in. And so this uses the email forwarding. Now, most of you folks have your email already going to a centralized area, like an auto processor or something like Automatic or something like that. So what you have to do is essentially set up a Gmail filter rule for that. Now, if you click on the Gmail forwarding, these instructions show you how to set up a forwarding account. You're essentially going to click your icon there in Gmail. You're going to click forwarding. You're going to click add forwarding address, and you're going to put this address in there. All right. Now, the instructions here say to change it to forward your email to that address. The problem is most of you are already have this set up and forwarding to a different address like Automatic, and Google only lets you do one forward, right? So if that's the case, then what you'll want to do is you'll want to actually use the filters, and you'll basically do these exact same steps to get the forwarding address in there. But then what you'll do is you'll go to the Gmail and you'll choose filters. And here's how you set up the filters if you're not familiar with that. All right, you're going to log into your Gmail account that everything is forwarding to, that one account that you've got set up that all your emails forwarding to. And what you're going to do is you're going to want to type an authentication code like this, right? Because the goal is you want to get these 2-factor alerts that, say that have your like Ticketmaster authentication code, right? You could also do things like, Ticketmaster or just the word authentication, right? You're going to hit the show search options, and you're going to say where it has the word authentication in it, right? From there, you're going to hit create filter, all right? Then after you hit create filter, you click forward, and you choose your address that was in there, right? So you choose the private tabs filter address, right? And that will then essentially forward anything that has the word authentication in it directly into the private tabs email, because and you'll need to do that for any of your ticketing sites that have 2-factor codes on them, right? So if it's an ASX site, you'll want to look at and put whatever the ASX filter is. If it's a Ticketmaster site, you can use the word authentication. If it's an Alpaccio site, there might be a different type of authentication text that words that are in there. But the idea is that worst case scenario, right? You could say where the domain is Ticketmaster.com, where the domain is Broadway.com, right? Or whatever. And then it'll just forward all the email. But I wouldn't do that. I would only forward the email that has to do with the 2-factor code. There's no reason to send us all of your email, right? Just do the 2-factor codes. And what that's going to allow you to do is going to make it so that those 2-factor codes will automatically enter in during the setup, right? The other option that you can do within private tabs is we also have the ability to do a wildcard emails where you can go under email domains. And this is where you can essentially add a domain name here, type this in. You could type your auto processor address here and all the emails will get forwarded to your auto processor as well, matching that domain. And then what will happen is that this will essentially become a mail server for you for wildcards, right? So it kind of depends on what Ticketmaster accounts are you guys use. Do you use Gmail for your account or do you use custom domains for your account? Some people say that Gmail works better, so they use Gmail. Some people use custom domains. Now, if you already have custom domains set up and they're already forwarding using like wildcards and things like that, then I would suggest you just do your Gmail forwarding, call it a day, and don't mess around with this custom domain stuff. But if you are a little bit more technical and you want to like buy a bunch of domains from Namecheap and do this, you can set custom domains up here. The advantage to doing custom domains over the Gmail forwarding is that we have an account creator tool that will randomly create account, which will randomly create real emails for you. And so it'll make like John Doe at yourcustomdomain.com automatically. So if you're using custom domains, it'll cherry pick from the domains and create accounts based off of those domains. So that's probably the primary advantage to using custom domains. Otherwise, the forwarding stuff works just fine. If you don't do this, none of the automatic two-factor stuff and click-through 2FA stuff will work. So this is part of the initial setup that you really need to do. The other thing that's very common that people will do is they'll go to shows on sale here, and they'll add the essential shows on sale login credentials. What that's going to do is make it so it'll automatically log into shows on sale. And you'll see in a second, there's some integration in shows on sale where it'll have like buttons and things like that will be on there for you automatically, which will have the pre-sale codes and the secret codes from shows on sale will automatically appear in the toolbar for you, right? Now, the other thing that people will do is they will set up like their auto processors, such as like One Ticket, Automatic, Seat Heroes, Text Chest, that type of stuff. When you're talking about the processors like Automatic, really the only advantage to doing this right now is you put your credentials in there. It doesn't really give you much of anything right now, but in the future, in the very near future, we're going to make it so that when your passwords change, it'll automatically update your passwords if you're an Automatic customer. So that's really the benefit of having the Automatic integration set up, putting your password in. The One Ticket integration is already there. So with One Ticket, you might want to come in here and you'll go and you'll log in, you'll click essentially this icon right here, or this link right here. You'll go there, and in there, there's a section in there called Send Automatic Password Notification to, right? You want to use this address. Now, this address is different than the other one. This one, notice, says Sync. The other one says Gmail, so just make note of that. This address you'll put in there. Now, if you already have an email in there, just make sure you put a comma. Don't put a semicolon or anything like that. It won't work. Put a comma, all right? Or just have the one email address in there. But the idea is that every time your password resets, it's going to send an alert to that email, which is going to tell private tabs like, oop, we changed the password. So now we automatically update the password inside of private tabs. Now, in order to do that, you have to put your API key in here in One Ticket also. If you click this link, you used to be able to just go into there. They changed it now where now you have to send a support ticket to One Ticket and request an API key. And when you do that, they'll send you one back or they'll give you access to this page, and then you can create your own API key and put that in there, right? Now, if you're not a One Ticket customer, you can just skip this, but that will then automatically reset the passwords in One Ticket. When anybody changes your passwords in any of your ticketing sites, they'll automatically update the account profiles in private tabs as well, all right? Some of the other stuff to make note of, like Seat Hero, Text Chest, these are texting platforms. Private tabs includes phone numbers with it, so you could use our phone numbers. We've got phone numbers now as cheap as $10 a number. You have to buy them in blocks of 8, so it's $80 for 8 numbers. And you have to have them for at least 3 months, but that is cheaper than going with like Text Chest or some of these other products. But if you're using Text Chest or any other product, that's completely fine. Even if you're using their extension, you can bring their extension in and continue to use Text Chest without a problem, right? Typically, when you need phone numbers, they're usually used on like the ASX site or if you're creating new accounts. Otherwise, most of the time, the email forwarding works just fine, and that's why you need to set your email forwarding up, right? Beyond that, right, The other stuff I probably wouldn't worry about right now. I just to get going. There is some things like the virtual cards where you can set up the pay with extend for virtual Amex cards. I would hold off on that. We're going to be announcing at the convention in July a brand new credit card product that's going to basically automatically give you like unblockable anti-blocking credit cards. We're going to be one of the first in the industry that doing this. So look out for that. We're going to be even doing some stuff with Citibank, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be excited about that as well. So, but that information will be coming out later on in July. So, but if you do have a Pay with Extend account, you can create virtual cards, and then when the account generator runs, it'll generate virtual cards for each profile as well. All right. Now the next thing is the most important thing, right? This is getting all of your accounts in order, because this is the biggest mistake that people make is they'll open up private tabs, they'll think it's a web browser, and they'll just want to start using it, right? Insomniac or something like that, right? Doesn't work like that. What happens is where like Insomniac, every tab you open is just random, right? Just random identity. Now you can do that with private tabs in this browser mode by switching it to random identity. Don't do that. Keep it in sticky mode. It's going to work way better for you, right? But the problem with that is you have to set up all your accounts. So now what I want you to do is I want you to close this down. I want you to close the classic version down, right? And I want you to now re-click the launcher again, all right? And if you re-click the launcher, you'll get back again. And now I want you to log into the Chrome engine. You've got browser extensions in there, full control over that. If you're a ticket flipping customer, you'll have the ticket flipping extension and ticket flipping access through our partnership with them. So all that stuff will be preloaded for you and ready to go. If you want to use third-party extensions like that Text Chest plugin, you can load that in if you want as well now. But all that stuff is right in there for you. Now, you'll notice for me, I have all of my accounts preloaded in. Now, to view this, if you're not seeing this account page, you can click the private tabs icon right here in the toolbar. This is kind of your jumping off point of everything. You should click on where it says Open Admin Page. Now, I will tell you we are renaming that from Open Admin Page to Show All Accounts. So by the time this video airs, that's actually going to change to say Show All Accounts. And the control panel is going to actually look like this. So this is actually going out tomorrow. So I'm just going to put this in the video because by the time the video airs, you'll see it. Essentially, the control panel, or the icon is going to be changed to say View Account Profiles. That's going to take you into your account list. The tab monitor, which I'll talk about in a second, which is going to be a separate window to control multiple tabs all at once. It's going to have the ability to create unblockable credit cards using our new private card application that we're going to be announcing in July. There's also going to be the account creator is going to be built into this as well, just like it is in classic mode. You're also going to have the ability to manage your account from here as well, such as purchasing additional users, Gmail, subscribe to product updates, product training, right? These are things that right now are typically only in Classic, so this is now coming into Chrome. You're also going to have the ability to open up random identities. So if you're a person and you just want to get started and you don't want to screw around with loading in your account, you can hit this Launch Random Identity button, and it kind of works like Insomniac. It's just every tab is a random identity, and that's the end of it, right? Don't do that, though, because you'll get your blocks and it has problems. We just put it on there for people that have asked for it, right? So the other thing is you've got your proxy configuration here. You also have your settings as well as your account management, cookie clearing. The other thing I'll tell you with cookies, don't go in and clear your cookies using the Chrome cookie clear tool. Do it from here because this will clear just that sessions cookie, not your local browser cookie, right? So use that. But I will say you should not have to do that because Private Tabs has all this anti-blocking stuff in it that automatically handles everything for you. So you really should never have to even hit these buttons. Just like the Rotate IP button, you should never actually have to hit that button as well, right? The other thing is that your those forwarding emails that we set up and that we just went to the classic mode to get are now available in Chrome, so we won't have to screw around and do what I just showed you, right? That'll be right in here. And then also all the hotkeys, so like being able to toggle back and forth. These are all the standard Chrome browser hotkeys, all right? So that's kind of a walkthrough on the extension. But as you can see in mine, what I've done is I've set up all of my accounts in here. So I'm going to click the green account button, and I'm going to add my account. At a very minimum, you need to add the email, the password, first name, last name, and phone number, right? if you absolutely have to, you cannot put the phone number in there if you really don't want to do that. But you really should do at the very minimum that, because that's going to, and you're going to see in a second why you want to do that, because every tab is going to be tied to the individual account, right? You want to use the Private Tabs network, assuming you bought the $4.99 plan. If you did not buy the $4.99 plan, then this is not going to be available to you and you're not going to have access to the proxy network, right? You will have access to it for the first, I think, 30 days, and then it'll be locked out. You won't be able to get into it anymore. So if you bought one of the cheaper plans, that's one of the reasons why you want to get the more expensive plan, because it comes bundled with the proxy network. But really, you need to have Private Tabs proxy networks checked. The location, I would put at a minimum, I would put the state and the zip in, or at least the state in. Because what this will do, this will attempt, if you load custom proxies, it'll geo-route your proxies to the nearest location. Now, the standard Private Tabs proxy network does not do this. We have a different geo network that does this, which is an extra fee at a premium. Right now, we're sold out of all geo proxies as of May 3rd, but you can easily import your own proxies using the custom proxy list and then do it that way as well. Using your own proxies, right? Because it'll scan those proxies, scan the location, and then match at the location to those proxies. In the very near future, we're going to be restocking our geo proxies. I personally don't think you need that geo proxy stuff unless you're doing like the NBA stuff, or what is it, MLB, the season passes and things like that. So a lot of you ticket brokers know there's a few situations where you might want to use geo proxies, but for the most part, you want to use just our clean proxy network, and this is not that important, right? Cards, a lot of people are hesitant to put the cards in. What I would do is I would just put this CVC code in, because what this is going to do is autofill your account information. So at the very end of the checkout, where it asks you to put the CV code in there, if you don't fill this out, it just won't be blank. So it's totally up to you if you don't want to do it, but then it's just going to be an extra step that you're going to have to do, where really if whatever you put in here, it's just going to auto-complete and click through everything, so it'll make it that much faster. If you already have all your credit cards tied to all of your accounts already and they're already saved, just leave them saved in the account and put the CVC number in and forget about the credit cards, right? So that would be my advice to you. But I definitely would do the CVC, because that'll put in there. The other thing I'll tell you is, if you have hundreds of accounts, as of right now, we don't have the ability to import those accounts. Like, you don't have the ability to import the accounts, but we do. So if you put all the information in a spreadsheet, these exact fields in a spreadsheet, you email them to customer support, which is support@privatetabs.com, we'll automatically import those for you. It usually takes 1 business day to get all that imported in. And I do believe in the near future, we will probably be pushing out an import tool so you can do this yourself. But as of right now, you either have to enter the accounts manually or you have to send the file over to us. That's the biggest hang up that a lot of people have right now with getting started, because you have to have all of your accounts loaded in. Once your accounts are loaded in, it should look something like this. You're ready to go. If you do want to do tagging, all right, tagging is the ability to sort and group accounts by different things, right? So if you want to assign these accounts to team member 1, these accounts to team member 2, right? Or you want these accounts to go to the NBA, these accounts are for concerts, these are juiced accounts, right? You can go into the tagging system, create a tag for whatever you want, right? So I've got like some tags in here that's like Ticketmaster, show, OG profiles, jigged accounts, spoofed accounts, stuff like that, right? It's just whatever you want. It's just a way to group all the accounts. Since most of you have hundreds of accounts, you can kind of group it however you want. And then if you filter, right, if I want to bring up just, say, Albert's accounts, right, I can tag that and I can hit apply, and now it's only going to show me his accounts, right? That's the purpose of the tagging system. If you want to do an import with tags on the spreadsheet, just make a column, call it like tag 1, enter the tag 2, enter the tag 3, and so forth, right? So you can give us a couple tags in there, and we can all automatically import your tags for you as well. That being said, you'll also see the lay of the land here as you've got the inbox. This is your SMS inbox if you're using our phone system, or if you're using our email. So the inbox, you can toggle between email or phones, right? That'll both be in there. The other thing I will tell you then at this point is, when you click the launch button, you'll see now that you'll be launching as that profile. If you don't see this toolbar, that means that it's not launching, right? Now, if you don't take the time to load the accounts, when you hit the plus button, right now I've got 245 accounts loaded up. I can launch 245 tabs. you can't, if you have nothing loaded up, it just won't let you launch the tabs, right? At that point, you'll be forced to launch random mode, all right? Now, if you look in the tab how it says default colon, that means we're using it without proxies. We're just using it like a normal Google Chrome browser, right? But if you look here where it's got Jason, colon Breadhorse or whatever, that actually is the user's name. So now when we launch, say, the next one here, and I go to Jose, right? Notice how that says Jose. This tab is all tied to Jose. This tab is all tied to Jason, right? So that's how you can kind of tell the difference. Now, if you come over here and you hit duplicate the tab session button, what you'll see is that this will open up the random tab, and you'll see something like SES53. That's a random session, right? Again, I would not do the random sessions, but if you don't want to take the time to import your accounts, that will essentially let you get started with just random sessions and random fingerprints, right? But that causes problems, so I wouldn't do that. Now you're pretty much good to go once you have all of your accounts set up and loaded in. But then what you'll want to do is if you go to something like Shows on Sale, for example, and you log in, what it will do is it'll inject a button for you where you can click it, and it'll have the pre-sale codes right within the toolbar for you automatically. Just like when the two-factor codes are set up and those things are tested, you can send an email from there to that email address, the one that you've set up. And as long as your forwarding is working, what you should see is that this email should automatically flip and change with the two-factor code. It takes about a minute or so for the email to come in. That's how you can test that you did all your setup right. Once you did that and you see your two-factor codes are coming in, you're done with your setup, right? Now, the other thing that you'll want to do as a new user, you'll come in here, say you're going to buy a ticket. Let's just say we're going to buy a ticket. What I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click these things. I'm going to go to Close Other Tabs. Most brokers are going to do one of two things. They're going to come in here, they're going to go to an event page, and they know that they can buy like a maximum number in each venue. So they'll buy like 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, right? And they can use the same profile, Jose, to do that, right? Because it's the same fingerprint, they'll allow that on the venue. So what they'll do is they'll right-click, and you'll do Open Link in New Window. They'll just go right down the line, just like this, boom, however you want. And you'll notice that when I do this, it's Jose, 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 right? Now, it's undergoing maintenance. It's actually in the middle of the night. It's really late, so Ticketmaster's probably doing their updates right now. It's about 2 a.m. So the other thing that people are doing is that, let's say you want to buy more than that, right? Then what you can do is you can right-click and you can do open private tabs, and you can do random profile. So you can say, right, open, one random profile. And you'll see now it's got a different person on there. So I can take this, I can copy it, and I can come over here. And now I can do the same thing, right-click, 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 right? And now you'll see that I've got these guys in the same profile, right? Now, that's one way to do it. Now, the other way to do it is if you're doing like an on-sale event, right? So if you're doing an on-sale event, you'll go to the actual event page. So let's just pretend this is the actual event page. And what we want to do is we want to open up as many tabs as possible, because this is like where we want to join a queue, right? Now, you'll notice I'm over here. I'm automatically logged in already to Jose. It will keep you logged in automatically. So if you close the thing down, you open up the next day, it's going to keep you logged in. And if you're not logged in, it will automatically log you in and automatically join the queue. So you'll go to the thing, you'll hit the plus button, and then we'll say it'll say how many tabs you want to open. I've got 200 and some in here. I'm going to do 50. So just to show you how 50 tabs will look in Chrome, how fast this is, right? I'm going to hit enter, right? Oh, the other thing is where it says launch options. If there's any pre-sale codes going on, you can enter the pre-sale code, and it'll auto-fill out the pre-sale code for you as well, right? But I'm going to essentially hit launch, boom. What this is going to do now, it's going to open up 50 tabs, boom, 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 boom. You're going to see kind of the speed of this. This should actually be very fast. If you're using other browsers like Insomniac and things like that, you might experience like spinners constantly spinning in the waiting room and not working. You don't have those kind of problems with private tabs. That was actually something that Ticketmaster did that we were able to fix. That being said, you should have a completely different experience. It should be a much better experience and everything using private tabs. As you can see, everything is sort of automatically loading across the top here. Keep in mind it is 2 a.m. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the control key and I'm going to page up and down using the page up and down button. So you can kind of see, look, there I am. I'm going through the thing, right? So the other thing that you can do is that while that's loading, you can also hit the private tabs icon right here, and I'm going to go under the tab monitor, right? Now the tab monitor is a different window, and that's going to allow you to control. So if you don't like to use hotkeys like what I just did, right? You can bring this tab monitor over here, and what the tab monitor will have this thing sort by queue position. So if you're doing a waning room or something like that, you can check that. It'll have the queue position here, and these things will automatically move around. The tabs will automatically move around based on your position in line and queue, right? If you're running ASX queues that play that video and all that stuff, it'll basically remove the video from playing so that all that annoying stuff is not going on while you're sitting in queue. And then when you're ready to go, it'll go like ding, you're up next in line, right? So that's kind of the purpose of the tab monitor as well. You can bring this to another monitor or whatever you want to do. But as you see, if I'm clicking around, it not only has the URL, it's got the venue, the show name, and it has the account that you're using, right? So you can easily see everything. Obviously, there is a refresh button on here, but you really shouldn't need that, right? You may have a situation where, maybe you're running an on sale on ASX and one at Ticketmaster at the same time, and you need to refresh just the ASX ones to maybe get them in queue. What you can do is you can type in ASX up here, ASX, and then it'll bring up just the ASX tabs that you've opened, and you can hit reload all tabs and it'll load up just the ASX ones, right? Without touching the Ticketmaster one, so that way it'll jump in line, right? So if you've ever experienced that, that's how you kind of can deal with those on sales. The other thing I'll show you is this little icon here. You can actually click this. This will show you a real-time preview. So this is a little video stream. As you're actually moving the mouse around, you can actually move the mouse around. You can see I'm doing an actual video real time. It's all real time. Very cool. Very cool. This does eat up more memory and more bandwidth. So we usually have this thing hidden by default, but if you're into it, you can turn that stuff on as well. So this is typically how you would do like an on sale event. You can use your, bring this over here, use your hotkeys, do all your stuff like that. The other thing you'll probably notice is that it will automatically click through things like the show cookies. It'll agree to terms and conditions. It'll jump through a lot of these different sort of things for you to kind of make your purchasing faster, right? But at the end of the day, private tabs can easily handle without a problem 50 plus tabs using Chrome. It's very fast. You should not have an issue at all. So I'm going to just close this guy down. I'm going to bring this back over here. And, if you hold the thing down, you can just look. It'll just continue to cycle through things, right? Very, very speedy without really a problem at all once it's loaded up. And as you can see, the profiles are there. It will autofill things as well for you also, all right? But that is what you need to do as a brand new user. That's how you can get going within private tabs. If there's any other stuff that I would say to you, is that when you are logging into shows on sale, you'll have an icon that kind of looks like this. It'll have this launch button here when you log into shows on sale. And when you click it, right, it will essentially allow you to open up. It'll bring these pre-sale codes into the system for you automatically. So if you bring this, it'll say you're about to bring these codes. You can do the same thing. You can open up, 50 tabs or whatever you want right from, the on sale event, and you hit the button. And then when you open up that, it's going to, instantly open up those 50 tabs for you as well, right within the private tabs control window. So if you look over here, you can kind of see. Let me just drag that over so you can see it, right? All right. So you'll see in the toolbar here, it will put the code right there in the toolbar for you as well. All right. So that is essentially how the shows on sale integration stuff works as well. Very common. A lot of people will use those things. The other thing I will tell you is that you will also have a secondary information here when you click this button. This is going to automatically show all your secondary information. This is going to come from the ticket flipping, the folks over at Ticket Flipping. Also, when you are diving in and you're picking, different seats and your carding stuff as well, there's going to be the additional ticket flipping information as well right here, such as the pricing information and all of that. Currently, there is not a shading tool or a price shader tool, but you're going to see that in the very near future as well. So That's really the only thing that's sort of missing from here. You can use other third-party extensions if you'd like the Shows on Sale extension or other things, but I know that the ticket flipping extension is going to have it as well, and then we'll have it also built into there. So that's really the only thing that you're missing, but beyond that, you guys should be good to go. If you have any questions, you can give us a call, and we can kind of help you and walk you through the process, all right? Thank you again for using Private Tabs. Thank you for your support. If you have any other questions, please let us know. If you are not a Private Tabs customer and you're thinking about buying Private Tabs, right, what I would suggest that you do, if you're wondering what the difference is in the pricing, right, if you go to privatetabs.com and you click on purchase pricing right here, right, essentially what we've got are these 3 price points, all right? I will tell you this as a ticket broker. Don't even bother messing with this 150 price point. This is for like sneaker resellers and things like that. It's not even worth looking at. All right. You basically want to get one of these 2 products. Essentially, the $299 product does not come with proxies. The $499 product does come with proxies, and it's all like synchronized and works fine. The other difference between these 2 is that the $499 system will come with the additional tools like the Account Creator tool, integration to Simboxes if you have Simbox phone systems, or any of the third-party integration hooks as well. If you don't care about that stuff and you've got your own proxies, you can get the one for $299, right? Now, if you're a team of people, then what you can do is you can buy one of the team packages and essentially get a discount on the products where it's $399, which is essentially getting like 5 users at $399, right? And all of those come with proxies. So what I would suggest that you do is if you're a team of 5 or more, get this plan right here, which is $19.99 a month. If you're a team of 10 or more, get this plan. If you're a team where you have ticket pullers working for you, right? Whether they're overseas or in the office, and their only purpose is to buy tickets, give me a call directly and we can talk about what your scenario is and we can put a pricing package together for you, right? But if you need anything else, you can call us or you can email us or you can live chat. So if you go to privatetabs.com, you can click on live chat. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Time, right? Typically Fridays we close down a little bit earlier. And everything. Also in the morning, because we're in Central Time, we usually have meetings from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. So if you call between those hours, usually you'll get voicemail, right? But if you call between 9 and 4, 9 and 5, you'll be able to talk to any one of the team members. These are our customer service team is located in the Philippines. However, they've been with me for well over 10, 15 years. Very good people. So it's not like an outsourced call center or something like that. They're my employees. They've been with me forever. And because we actually provide other products and services as well, if you're not familiar, Private Tabs is actually owned by More Than Rewards, which is my primary company here, morethanrewards.com. Private Tabs is one of our products that we sell. So our network team and our development team and our whole team behind this is actually a really big, strong team of people that can make this thing work, which is why we are constantly pushing out updates every week. And which is why we need your support with this, because without you guys, we would not be able to do this. So if you were referred and you were coming from a Discord group or something like that, just make sure that if you do buy this, you use your promo code and your partner code so that your referral people always get their appropriate credit for the referral, right? Other than that, I appreciate everything. I hope you have a good day. Thank you again for your purchase in Private Tabs. Our phone number is 414-326-4100, 414-326-4100. You can also find that information on the top of privatetabs.com right here. We don't hide behind email. Just give us a call. All right. Thank you. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.